Woo! Hello.
Hello.
That was a real Jason Statham intro, wasn't it?
Hi. Hello, DM Dan from the future. It seems like someone forgot to hit record at the start of this episode, so we don't have the normal video recording that we'd normally have. The audio is absolutely fine, so if you keep watching, the video will come back in due course. Sorry for the whoopsie, hope you still enjoy. Hello. I'm DM Dan. Welcome to Explorers of Elsewhere's Elysia Rising campaign. Hi. I am joined by 5 of the bravest, noblest crims this side of the hellspawn that they found themselves in. Hello. Hope you're all good?
Yeah.
Are you all prepared for what is to come?
Can we ever be?
I'm a massive fan of the enthusiasm for the job that you don't know about yet. But yeah, I know what's going on, and I think it's fiendishly brilliant. And I would love to share it with you. Would you? Shall we take each other's hands and step boldly into the light?
Yes.
Marvelous.
Oh.
Right, let's go.
Welcome to Elysia, the jewel of the north. On our gilded streets, fortune and fame can be found by anyone.
Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm playing Magpie, an ace of our lurk.
Hi, I'm Nate, and I'm playing Cavern, a dragon-scent slide.
Hi, I'm Meg. I'm playing Frida, a wolfkin cutter.
Hi, I'm JC, and I'll be playing Algernon, an ace of our spider.
Hello, I'm Errol. I am playing Atta, a goblin whisperer.
And my name is DM Dan. I will be the games master on this adventure.
So come on in and marvel at our wonders. Make sure you see the beautiful views we have to offer, and don't mind the ghosts. They're friendly, really. Grab yourselves a seat and make yourselves welcome in the city of Elysia.
Faith is a powerful driver, especially in a world where the very gods themselves descended from the heavens. Seeing such majesty given physical form proved to be life-changing for many, giving credibility and weight to their devotion. A belief in a higher guiding power can provide a support structure for someone, reinforcing their commitment to see a task to completion, regardless of the scope of their endeavour. The fear of an insurmountable or unenviable task can be soothed by the promise of acceptance or reward, thanks to one's faith, leading to monumental acts. What, then, comes of the faithful when the task asked of them is heinous, running counter to their natural guiding principles? The War of the Heavens tested many people's faith as the two sides fought over wrong and right, where the resolve of the most faithful allowed them to rise to prominence in a battle that, for some, never ended. And so, we will take a quick pit stop to welcome Meg back. Hi, Meg.
Again.
Hello. We need to do a speedy downtime for Frida in the aftermath of the Castle Antelier job. We've done a bit of the natter off screen. So we've acknowledged that during that job you did a desperate wreck.
Yep.
A desperate 5 dice wreck. So we've marked a point in your prowess XP bar. And kind of between using your shoulder to open doors multiple times, punching ghosts, deciding on the plan to set the golem that was stomping around on the intruders, we've decided that kind of culminated in a grand total of 3 XP.
Yes.
3 additional XP.
And that means I've got a fancy new ability.
Fancy new ability.
I'm
Yes, it does. 3 XP.
Embracing my inner meat shield, and I've taken bodyguard.
Amazing. Yeah, 3 XP was exactly what you needed. So bodyguard will let you roll extra resistant dice when you step in to save one of your companions from a horrible consequence. And I'm sure that will pair beautifully with your reckless trauma.
Oh, I hope so.
Marvelous. So with Frida all kind of tanked up, and we'll mark the gold that you would have picked up off the job as well. We will quickly shoot to your 2 downtime activities. So what were your 2 activities?
So Frida's heading straight to the fighting pits and her old mate Jocasta to do 2 things, and that is indulge in her vice to reduce some stress, and also hopefully to get Jocasta's help in sort of doing some healing, because Frida's still got that really nasty cut to the face that she got from old bargain bin Darth Vader. Well,
Yes,
bargain bin Darth Vader's minion. What
Jeff.
did oh, that's it, Jeff. I was about to say he had a really cool name. I couldn't remember what it is.
Yes, the coolest name. Yes, good old Jeff. That sounds absolutely sound. I guess it's almost like being a lover and a fighter, but in your case, it's more just like a fighter and a fighter. So please roll me a 0 dice indulge as you hurl yourself into the fighting pits.
Oh yes, how much? Oh gosh, I've got to see how much stress I've got. I've got all the stress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7.
Indulge twice. Stress 7. Oh,
It's great!
Nice.
Disadvantage. That's great.
Double 6.
no, I'm mad. I'm mad because I bet now my rolls for the whole game are going to be really shit.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
6 is the whole session.
Only 6s this session.
Okay, so all the way down to 1 stress. Very, very well done. Double 6 on the stress.
Wow, that's great.
I daren't describe the state that your opponent was in after you came swaggering out of the arena. And as
A lot of pent up rage.
yes, as you kind of slump down on your on the stool, and Jocasta kind of comes over with like a water bottle and a rag to kind of mop you down a little bit. She winces because it's clear that the cut that Jeff delivered to you across your kind of eye and cheek has opened up during the battle. But as I think in the past we have acknowledged her as a 1 dice, like a tier 1, like apothecary. So let's roll and see how well she does.
Not so well.
Not so well. So that is 1. So that's a 2. So 1 segment of your healing clock. Jocasta's spending more time kind of chastising you for constantly opening like the wound on your face. She tuts as she kind of re-stitches you back together, and gently suggests that you stop solving your problems with your face.
Aye, but my face is so pretty as it is, you know. It's just some girls wear makeup, I get punched. It's what I do.
Jocasta purses her lips, and you hear a sharp suck on the teeth. She shakes her head at you, and you feel like she kind of gouges you a bit deeper with one of the needle stitches to kind of tell you off. Yeah, there we are. So that's your 2 activities. You're on the road to recovery, and you're significantly less stressed. So that brings us back to everyone else, and you've all kind of gathered together because it would seem that Algernon has an idea for the source of your next score.
So Algernon has got into some hot water with the church, some hot holy water. And he assumes that High Priestess Esoth is going to be sending word to him very soon about what she wants his part of this deal to be. But little does she know that it's all part of his plan.
All part of the plan. Well, very, very good. Yes, and sure enough, the invite to the cathedral of our glorious mother comes very, very quickly. Not very long after the Castle Antalya job. And who is the letter asks? Asks for your attendance, so you may share. You may share with the High Priestess the truths of your sins, so as much you may be unburdened by their weight.
Well, it sounds like a jolly old time. Who wants to join me?
Who is going to the cathedral to meet with High Priestess Esoth?
Are we all allowed to go? We should all go.
Absolutely. You know, I'm always in for a potential scrap.
I think Catherine's going to be sitting there a bit like a pouting child, like, no, don't want to go. But seeing that everyone is going, we'll go along as well.
Oh, come on, Cav. Don't you want to see the look on their faces?
He looks at you coldly again, Frida. He's not listening to you.
Now, just so we're all on the same page, the plan is to go in there and act like we're unburdening ourselves of sin and doing everything that they want. Our goal is to find out exactly what the faith is up to, particularly in regards to the sangre of our prisoners, and then we can decide whether or not we want to go along with it and how.
Sounds
So
good.
we should
Unburdening our sins.
tell them everything we've. What should we not tell?
Well, I mean, it's up to you whether you want to treat it as a genuine confessional. But so the five of you make your way, presumably as subtly as you can, because you are now some of the more wanted individuals in Elysia, sporting that healthy two wanted level 2. But as you make your way into Abbott's Gate, and you notice as you're walking through the streets, like when you've been here recently in like previous days, you've almost kind of you could feel the tension between the marauding bands of like children of Iyan rubbing up against the marauding bands of the city watch of Abbott's Gate. But this time around you notice that the watch are in suspiciously lower numbers, like quite considerably so, in so much that the streets themselves look like they've all but been kind of taken over by the children of Iyan. And the sound of kind of their hymns and psalms as they're walking through the streets, fundamentally bring the faith to you, so as you don't have to bring yourself to the faith. But yeah, it just has a very, very different feel to how it's done before. And Cavern, I mean, you acknowledge that it's this. What you're seeing is almost kind of the world that was idolized when you were part of the faith. But for everyone else, it just kind of gives you this kind of insight into this kind of bizarre kind of iron grip that promises you sooth and succor whilst throttling you. But as you head down the street to the huge, frankly, very impressive building that is the cathedral, as you ascend the stairs up into the hall, looking across this sea of like white stone, like cream yellow carpet that runs from the entrance all the way to the altar at the far end. The as well maintained as they can be stained glass windows depicting Aya and her more faithful children in various forms, and like a number of clergy striding up and down the aisles to giving, placing hands on worshippers and offering quiet whispers. As you make your way to the I'm guessing perhaps some of you know, Karen, you definitely will, the confessional area over in the far left corner. As the five of you approach, you are noticed by this small, authoritative-looking goblin woman, who, with white kind of face paint across her cheeks, in lines depicting symbology of Aya, and she excuses herself from one of the clerics and begins to move to the confessional area as well. As the five of you make your way in and the door is closed, you find yourselves in a relatively small room with... It's quite cramped for the five of you, but there is a stall in the middle of this. Some of you might ungenerously call it a broom closet of sorts, but there's a small stall in the middle, and you can see small kind of holes in the wooden wall to the left of the stall, and through the holes you can make out the outline of the goblin priestess.
I assume you have come here to unburden yourself of the sins of the past.
As per your invitation, I hope you don't mind that I brought +4.
Hello.
In our mission to relieve Elysia of the evils that have shackled her for so long, I am glad to have seen that you have brought so many who have placed their faith in our Mother Glorious. Hello, Kavrin. It has been a while.
Hello, Priestess.
Hi, Priestess Kavrin.
Hello, High Priestess.
I will get straight to the matter, for recent events have brought to us some alarming news, and our efforts seemingly are being rebuked across the city. There is one faction in particular who has consistently rebuked our generous offerings of peace and cooperation, and we find ourselves in a position where we can no longer abide their insolence. They have set plans in motion that, should they come to fruition, threaten the sanctity of Elysia herself, and we will not allow Elysia to fall into depravity and hedonism as a result of their actions. I assume we are of one mind with this goal of saving that which we hold most dear. There is a ringleader at the center of these machinations, and by my divine right, I am requesting that you remove this perpetrator of heresy and sin.
Well,
tar-
you've done us such a huge favour in keeping out of our way in the ivory. It's only right we could point our resources in your direction.
That is appreciated, Mr. Cadwallader. I can only apologise for any implications that were wrought upon some of our more pious followers who may or may not have visited the home of sin itself. But be assured that whilst we approve of some of our adherents' more rigorous, faithful practices, she has been suitably chastised. The mastermind of these actions, I feel, for a group of individuals such as yourselves, should prove little resistance. They are a sorry example of one who has been turned from the light for too long, whose soul and sensibilities have been shriveled by the darkness that they cling to. The name is Mustovan.
Fuck's sake. Oh.
Can't say we've never heard of him.
Mustovan is the head of a criminal syndicate organization that is currently wreaking havoc across the city, and his current plans threaten the safety of the city and our efforts with which to save Elysia.
I've got to ask, what are his plans exactly? How does this Mustovan threaten the city?
The list of things with which this criminal is involved with is exhaustive, but be assured that none of them are good for any of us.
Hey, but you've got to give us a little example. I mean, we're definitely on the same page. I just need to get a flavour of what this heinous... Frida just stifles a bit of a laugh. This heinous individual has done.
And remember, you did use the word mastermind.
Mastermind.
Mustovan has taken upon himself to recruit some powerful agents to his cause. Powerful agents who would seek to undermine the very essence of the Veil.
They must be very powerful indeed. And dare I say, very good looking as well.
Very, very sexy indeed.
Incredibly
I mean, very
sexy.
terrible.
But
Yes.
awful people, clearly.
Can I ask, is all their last name Tom?
For their mindless prattle, sometimes the City Watch do have their use within the city, and thankfully many of these perpetrators have been apprehended and moved to Bell Tower Prison. We wish to prevent Musto from recruiting them before he can cause any more damage. And we believe the most merciful way is to remove the head of the snake and let the body die. Mustovan must die. The specifics of how you will accomplish this, I will leave to you. These are matters with which I do not find myself with much experience in, perhaps unlike yourselves. All I care for is the results, and in doing so, we will consider your debt fulfilled, Mr. Cadwallader, along with the blessing of the children of Aya and the other subsidiary faiths that sit within the cathedral. You can be at our side when we step forward and pull Elysia from the depths into a new dawn.
Thank you, High Priestess. I look forward to the day that comes true. We've had dealings with this character before. He's intelligent and dangerous. But we'll do our best. I can't promise we'll all make it back alive. But we'll do anything we can for our Blessed Mother.
And for the city, of course.
I'm pleased to hear it.
And with that, you hear the sound of kind of wood sliding on wood, and the peels of candlelight that were flickering through these holes in the partition are covered over. And you hear a door open on the other side, and the High Priestess leaves.
Do we want to go somewhere more private to discuss?
Have a laugh.
Just have a good old laugh.
Dan, DM.
Please?
Sorry, you're drinking.
Yeah.
Ask a question just as you take a drink. In the area of the cathedral, is there any imagery of, say, hearts in the cathedral and the stained glass? Atta is looking out for heart-related imagery around the city
Good
now.
idea.
Do you want me to make a roll?
No need. As you're kind of wandering back out, so to give you an idea of the cathedral itself, it's the cathedral itself from sort of front to back is quite long, with these incredibly high vaulted ceilings, that vault up into an arch. There are kind of wings that jut off, so 6 in total, 3 on the left, 3 on the right, and the 2 middle ones jut out a bit further. And there are pews almost all the way down the length of this cathedral, and just kind of off in the wings are kind of various kind of quiet areas, like prayer areas. But across the walls, in all, not floor to ceiling, but still incredibly tall, are these kind of stained glass windows. Whilst some of them have been broken and not been able to have been repaired over the past 2 years, you do notice that of the 20, there are 20 windows in total. 8 of them have been, for all intents and purposes, painted over, allowing just 12 left. And you would all know that those 8 that have been kind of decommissioned would have once upon a time had depictions of who are now the betrayer gods: Akan, Zerathane, Palagara, etc., etc. And as you're looking around, a lot of the imagery you're seeing, there's a lot of kind of gold, there's white fabrics, yellow robes, everything's kind of very yellow. You do see on one of the only heart imagery you see is depicted in the stained glass window of Selenith, the nurturer. She is one of Aya's daughters. You've stopped at a shrine to Selenith. It's actually where Dorothea blackmailed you that job once upon a time. But you do know that, heart-like imagery is something that Selenith is kind of related to, given that she is, given her kind of domain profiles and whatnot. So it's not that unusual. But that's the only kind of vaguely heart-shaped imagery you see.
Whilst we're here, I would like to just start a little bit of a conversation with one of the other priests, like one of the more senior priests. Maybe like standing in front of one of these stained glass windows, looking up at the tree of the gods, and just be like, I suppose if one of the gods or their messengers came to Elysia and gave instructions to you, you would follow it, wouldn't you? Being a devout child of Aya.
The Asavar turns to you. The Keeper turns to you. And sort of like nods. Nods and sort of like look. This Keeper towers over you, so you can see his face under the hood that he's wearing, with two kind of holes cut out for the horns that jut from his forehead. Well, of course, it is clear that Aya and her children are looking for us. So when they find us, we will do everything we can in order to help them help us.
Yes, I would as well. But it's funny, isn't it? Because the High Priestess told me that she received a visit from a celestial messenger, and she didn't like the advice that was given, so she ignored it. I don't know if she's telling the truth, of course.
The cleric kind of pulls back from you slightly. There's a look of disbelief. But then he nods and, well, the agents of Akan can send their temptuous can send their tempting whispers to all and any. It stands that that High Priestess Lukraji is strong-willed enough to resist their silvery tongues.
Well, if you suppose so.
The cleric kind of looks to you, and then looks at the five of you, and then glances away for a moment, seemingly thinking about what you're saying, and then, if you would excuse me, he says, and he bows. He displays the symbol of Aya to you, and then leaves.
Okay, let's go find somewhere private for a laugh.
Before we all peel off,
Yes.
Dan, would there be anywhere in the cathedral that would hold some sort of scriptures or books on dragons, on the gods?
100%. 100%.
Would I be able to go and, still thinking back from my night with the other dragon sent?
Yes.
The dragon the god who he follows, Meladani. I'm quite taken, sort of like what he spoke about her, and would like to know more about her, please.
Sure. In which case, there's like a public area where there are a number of sort of like holy tomes and scriptures, fundamentally the teachings of Aya, that are for public use, if you will. But you can see that there are some archivists kind of wandering around. As you kind of peel off and have a quick glance around, you notice that they're all pretty much the selection is quite limited, and it is very kind of heavily focused on Aya. but you know from your kind of upbringing that there were once upon a time scriptures on all 20, but now 12 of the gods. But you realise, there's lots and lots of Aya, but like there's no Renangar, there's no Meladani, there's no Phaesto, there's no Dost. Like all of their scriptures just seem to not be around. You know they won't have been destroyed, but clearly they're just not being kind of left out. But one of the archivists spots you, and she heads on over, this Lorivar woman, and hello, child. Is there anything I can help with?
Oh, that's ever so kind of you. You see, I have a friend who has slightly strayed away from Aya's light, who is more interested in following the teachings of Meladani. I was wondering if I could do some research on her to find out how to sort of sway him back to Aya's light. I'm hoping to learn more about him from what he is seeking, so that I can plan my teachings better.
I see. Give me a sway.
You can do that.
I can do that.
You're good at that.
We're going to start at a risky standard.
A risky standard, let's...
Look at that. Three dice. Look at them. 4.
Okay. So... You do it on a 4, but there's a consequence. You suffer harm. She stabs you and then gives you the book. A complication occurs. You have reduced effect. You end up in a desperate position. It's going to be a complication of some sort. So yeah, the archivist like nods, and then she beckons you wait. She disappears, and you notice her kind of go down into what would be sort of like the catacombs, like underneath. So, I mean, based off that, you would wager that perhaps all of the non-Iyan / non-approved law has kind of been moved down there. But she eventually returns. A few minutes later, she returns to you, carrying like a silver-bound booklet, and yeah, it's got like etched on the front is a very kind of stylized depiction of Meladani, her coiled and kind of curling, like form, in very kind of like, to look at it, you would know from a religious perspective, like the curves invoke this kind of sensuality, this kind of hedonism, that would make, some of the other religious types kind of hot under the collar slightly. But anything that you can use to bring someone back to the light is good with me, she says. She hands it over to you. Please make sure to return this. We want to make sure that only the right people have the right messaging.
Of course, thank you.
And over the space of however long, I will ponder on what that clock's going to be. Cool. So, where are you all heading to have a natter?
We haven't been to the Spectre in a while, have we? Go to the Spectre?
Yeah.
Anyone's up for that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, to be fair, you probably can't, you can't head to the Gold Pot because it's currently been shut down due to a recent ghost attack. How's Atta looking, by the way? How's Atta holding herself with everyone? How's Kavram feeling, by the way?
How is this traumatized bunch? Not yet with official trauma, but when Algi said that we were heading to see Lukraji, yes, and heading to the church, Atta kind of was holding her tail and looking a bit quite uncomfortable, and just looking, a lot thinner, kind of, and gaunt, or not sleeping, not because she's excited and working on a project, but not sleeping because she now has complicated thoughts and feelings about everything that's going on.
Sure. Well, Atta, you are kind of ushered, like the others, as they kind of place hands on your shoulder to comfort you as you head through the streets. You make your way back to Duskland, and as you turn left onto the street under the arch, and you can see the very kind of homely wooden sign hanging over the front door. Juicy gives you a wave as you enter, and like the Spectre looks surprisingly quiet today. It's morning, so it's kind of to be expected. A lot of people at work. But heading down into the secret basement through the bookshelf, you hear a loud, like pained grunt as you reach the bottom of the stairs, and from sort of like behind the bar, Eric stands up, holding his back, and you can see that there's a large barrel that clearly he's just been moving around, and he's got his back to you, and he bloody hell, and he sort of like walks backwards to the bar and tries to bend backwards over it, and then spots you in the corner of his eye, and then he bloody hell, hello, he says. I haven't seen you lot in ages.
Eric, I've always told you, if you need that massage, you just come to me. It's all right.
The thing that worries me, Catherine, is how insistent you are on giving me the massage.
I only aim to please.
Yeah, that's my other worry. Usual drinks for you all?
Yes, please.
Very good.
I absolutely.
For God's sake, Frida, you look like Frida.
Prettier than ever.
Yes,
Right.
That's what I was going to say. What happened to Frida, everyone else? He says, looking to the four of you.
Well, that is
Frida.
obviously something Frida is very much keeping to herself.
Well, in that case, I won't ask, because you could probably fold me in half, Frida. Anyway, I'll get those drinks for you. You grab your seats. I've kept it free for you, he says, gesturing at the empty booth in the empty speakeasy.
Appreciated as always, Samuel. No, what's your name?
Eric.
Who
the bloody hell, Samuel? No, and he nods.
He's my friend.
Appreciated as always, Eric.
He nods, and he goes about getting your kind of drinks ready. So we will kind of jump straight into sort of like the gather information / what are your thoughts on the mission? As the words that Lukraji said ring in your ears, Mustovan must die.
I mean,
the
mastermind. What?
Yeah, don't know what's more surprising.
Mustovan must go die.
Smoking.
I know.
Well,
They need to check their incense.
Even a broken pocket watch is right twice a day. And a blunt instrument like Musto can be considered dangerous if he's tapped into something very interesting indeed. I heard that he's making inroads into Bell Tower Prison. Our friends in the church have obviously spent some expense gathering up Sangrevar, putting them there. Musto's efforts whatever his intention, are obviously threatening their goals. That's painted a target on his back.
Algernon, you do remember when you spoke to Musto to borrow the divining orb that you used in the Castellantillo job, that some of his complaints were that Songbird was kind of coming down hard on him because he wasn't making as many inroads as he wanted to in the bell tower job. But more recently, you've heard that through the grapevine that he has seemingly concocted a plan. Whether or not it was him that concocted the plan is another question entirely, but he has a plan.
I feel like whatever we do here, should we not speak to Songbird first?
I think she's overdue for a little chat.
I feel as if we simply go behind her back, that might not go down well.
Yes, I would never orchestrate anything behind her back.
As you say that, Eric heads over to your table with your drinks on a tray in one hand, and under his other arm he's carrying what appears to be today's copy of the treatise. And as he plonks the trays down, he sort of like gives you a nod and, like, looking at you very specifically, Algernon, given that he knows you to be the most up to date with current affairs. Tell you what, this city is going to the hells in a handbasket. Have you seen the front page?
I typically skip to the crossword nowadays.
Well,
let's have a look.
He slams the newspaper down on the table in front of you. Do you remember there was all that malarkey about those those guards that were trying to round me up, and apparently there were other Ace of R that were getting rounded up and taking the bell tower? Well, turns out that perhaps maybe there are a bit of maybe some of them are wrong uns, because they found the ringleader. And on the front page of the treatise is a sketch of a blonde Lorivar woman with the word "wanted" across the front. Looks like someone's found out who's pulling all the strings. He jabs at the newspaper.
You don't believe everything you read in the press, do you, Eric?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the treaty is usually all right, but I mean, looking through that, the sound, it sounds like she's been seen she was there at the keep, when that got all burnt down, and there's reports that she was near Bell Tower when that got attacked as well. It seems like she's got her fingers in a lot of pies, Algernon. And I don't know, I don't know who this song. If you're gonna give yourself a nickname like Songbird, then maybe you are up to no good. Yeah, it looks like they did a raid on wherever she was, and they're now looking for her. So, while you're keeping yourselves busy, if you happen to see her, just just be in mind that the guard are probably right behind her.
Thank you, Eric, for that useful delivery of the news.
You are more than
here.
He says, and he heads back to the bar. As the five of you look at this newspaper and the realization that Songbird has been unmasked.
I guess if we do want to talk to Songbird, where is she going to be?
We may have to get creative in how we find her. Maybe we should speak to Musto first, find out where Songbird is, go and talk to Songbird about whether or not we should kill Musto. What do you think?
I know I'm not exactly the biggest fan of Musto, but I can't help but feel a little bit of I don't know. He's sort of grown on me in a way, but like a veruca, you know.
Fungus.
Are you saying that you feel some basic compassion towards him, Frida?
Well, I don't know if we'd go that far, but I imagine that, like, murdering him in blood isn't going to be nearly as fun as I'd like it to be, you know?
Not nearly as fun as watching Algernon psychologically torture him.
Exactly! I'm gonna miss that!
Also,
who else are we gonna bully?
And what would killing Musto mean for us and for a potential way into Bell Tower?
I
just think maybe killing him's not the way. We need to satisfy the church while potentially, I don't know, saving him? I can't believe I'm saying this.
Oh,
I
know.
agree. There was a time when I would have killed him right here and there when he was spat on my hand. But he's proven a useful idiot to me. And I also have a strange compassion for the man.
He is quite small and pathetic, isn't he? And just so sweaty.
And snotty. And just... That underbite is just... Ugh.
I mean, where does all that grease come from?
Where does it all go as well? It would almost be too sad to just put him down like a dog, wouldn't it?
Easy, but
sad.
But sad.
Kevin, does the church make a habit of offing people? This seems extreme.
Well,
Kevin, I'll interject and say that's the bit that strikes you the most, is that this does seem like a very bold, brash move on Lukraji's part. Like, clearly. Especially even for her to just outright say, I need this man dead. Like, that's... Like, you'd almost be a bit surprised hearing that coming out of the mouth of Zaan Martok of the Shieldbearers. So to hear it coming out of the headpiece of the faith, yeah.
What if Musto knows something that he's not supposed to know? Or I would be more inclined to try and figure out what Musto might have done or know, rather than him just being a pest.
We'll need to start to gather some information. So where are the five of you heading first? Because you're going to need to gather some information one way or the other. I guess the question is, are you going to do the job or not?
I think we need to make it look like we did the job. That's my opinion. I think we need to either tell him to go into hiding and, like, say, the body was destroyed, and, like, present an item of his to Lukraji, or we need to dress up some, this is very ethically dubious, dress up some other goblin in his clothes and have them be dredged up from the bottom of the river. I know, it's awful. Any old goblin, just not our precious Musto. Or we actually have to kill him. And I don't think that's a good idea. That's just me.
Yeah, I feel like if we're going to kill him, we've got to kill him on our own terms.
I think we should talk to Songbird. I think that should be part of our gather information.
Okay, so perhaps the first question is, where is Songbird?
Where is Songbird? Track her down.
Okay. Who's going to participate in that information gathering?
I reckon that's got JC's name all over it. Tracking down Songbird. You're good at finding things, aren't you?
I have a Pippin hunt. Only one, though.
I don't think anyone else does, so that might be worth a
I think
shout.
that might be the only hunt in the whole group.
I think I've got the most hunt of the entire group.
We've all established that Frida has about as much insight as a rock.
Oh, we love her.
Okay, we'll tell you what. Roll me out a. In downtime, I would normally, a lot of the time, I would say controlled, but given that you're looking for someone whose face is now, like she is now Elysia's most wanted, she's literally on the front page of the treatise. So I'm going to start this as a risky standard. If you're looking for the songbird,
would anybody like to help me to give me another number?
Is
I
anyone
can help you.
Yeah.
How much stress is it to help again?
1.
1. I'll come along with you and I'll give you a little help.
Okay.
So that's 1 extra upgrade. So you can take a.
And you.
So go on.
Sorry, you said risky standard starting out, right?
Risky standard start. So yeah, if you want for free, you can switch it to a desperate great. Or you can, and either way, you can spend an upgrade.
I haven't really got the stress right now to be spending it pre-score, so I think I'll add an extra die. Thank you very much, Catherine, for that. Yes.
You're welcome.
Did you want to do risky standard or desperate great?
I'm going to do risky standard and have an extra die because rolling 1 die is. Or would it? Yeah, rolling 1 die is scary.
Well, no. I mean, so if you switch to desperate greater, you still get the extra dice. You can just trade the position for effect.
It's just a worse impact if you fail.
Oh, if I get why would you say no to a desperate roll? You get XP. Of course, I'm gonna. Look, I'm gunning for trauma. Maybe I should put.
Oh no!
Yeah,
what was that about gunning for trauma?
Okay.
Trauma.
It's the worst outcome. So Atta, you did a desperate hunt. The serious complication is that a new 4 clock appears entitled EIC Investigation.
Not a fan of that.
And
Can I resist?
You can, because right now it's going to go straight up to 3. Yeah, if you want to resist, you can do. That's going to drop it down to 2 segments, and off the back of a hunt, that will be an insight roll, correct? So you'll get 3 dice. 3 dice resist.
Oh, okay. 3 dice. Oh, because I've got 3 of the skills in insight, right? I haven't rolled a resist in a hot sec. Do I just click on insight?
Click on the word insight. That's it.
Right. Okay, cool. And then just straight up roll. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Come on, resist. Oh, God.
Okay. So 4. So you rolled a 4. So you suffer 2 stress, taking you up to 7. So you're fundamentally Atta's going around with a drawing of magpie of Songbird, being like, "Have you seen this lady?"
The newspaper with the picture and the word "wanted." Have you seen this lady?
Yes. I'm really looking to find this lady. And who was it who helped Catherine?
Yeah.
So
I sort of see her do this, and I sort of kind of go like, "No, let's rethink this." Just sort of take her away.
Catherine, it's you that notices that as you're kind of crawling through the streets of like the streets around where you've met Songbird in the past, so in Saints Hollow, there are a number of like shady individuals with, they all seem to have like long coats with high collars that can, mask some of their face, and you see them sort of like you see the same individual one too many times, but like in a position where they might be trying to hide from your notice, and you realize that like this person doesn't move like the other residents of Saints Hollow. There's not that kind of life-born desperation that some of the other people in the slum have. And you just kind of get this feeling that, yeah, this person, whoever is tailing you, means business. But yeah, you manage to shake your pursuant, but yet it would seem that this EIC agent is now looking into you and your questionings. And unfortunately, like in Saints Hollow, the sort of like the underground kind of basement area where you met Songbird before, like that place is crawling with City Watch, and yeah, a couple of other like long coat, high collar individuals. It seems like that whole place has been raided and cleared out. For all intents and purposes, Songbird is lost to the winds.
No, come on. That's a shame.
What's the next question we're asking?
Guess we go talk to Musto.
Yeah.
If we're planning to sort of pretend he's there, kill him.
Should we mention why we're what's going on? How much should we actually tell him?
I mean, would it be a good idea if we find out what he's doing? If we can try and find out, some information on why he's so wanted.
Can I do a bit more of my prowling that I did earlier in the campaign, where I hang out on the roof just outside his window and hear him loudly talking about all his plans?
Well, I mean, you can do if you want to earwig on him, but you do know, like, where he is, I guess.
Well, yeah, but I want to do the prowl in order to find out what the question is. What's he up to?
Okay. In which case, roll me a prowl.
Okay.
We'll set this as a. I'll also set this as a risky standard.
Yeah. Okay. I'll accept the risky standard. That's fine. 6.
Nice.
6. So.
You do it.
You head to his like hideout in Duskland. So it's a rooftop that you've frequented a couple of times, Magpie. And when you arrive, you notice that the building, like the safe house, is a bit of a flurry of activity. But listening in, you hear that the cobbles inside don't know where he is. You hear, there's like frantic panicking of what do you mean you don't know where the boss is? It's like, well, we don't, like, ever since Songbird's scarpered to the winds, Musto's done a runner.
Oh, Musto.
But like they about, like, you hear them sort of like bickering and trying to figure out where he's gone. And you do overhear, well, maybe he's gone to some of the other safe houses. I don't know. I mean, well, he's not going to have gone to Old Town because that Drea Gall woman's just kicked us out. Like she's managed to oust us from the streets. Mate, like Musto took his eye off the plan. Like he took his eye off the ball, focusing on this prison thing, and now we've lost all the ground that we had. So he's not going to be in Old Town. He's not going to be in Celestry because that place is crawling after that Ilnashi place got hit. He's not here. He's not going to be in St. Hollow because, like, Songbird's just been rumbled. I mean, that only leaves a very few places he could have gone to. And then they think about it, and maybe he's gone to Dustry or Rookridge. So you go to Dustry, you go to Rookridge. You hear like words of affirmation, and then you hear the cobblestone like rushing around again inside. Yeah, it seems like Musto, having heard the news about Songbird, has
done a runner. So Dustry or Rookridge are most likely. Okay. Musto, how are we supposed to fake kill you if you've disappeared?
Rookridge is where Frida grew up. Would it be worth if Frida went and, sort of did some consorting with former associates to see if she can pinpoint down where he might be, if he is in Rookridge?
Yeah. That could be worth it. Does anyone want to go with Frida? Or are you a lone agent?
I feel like somebody should probably go.
I mean, it's up to you. But Frida's quite happy being a lone agent in this.
Okay. In which case, so Frida, as you head over into... So you're heading over to Rookridge. Presumably someone else is going to be heading up to Dustry Hill. Who wants to take on that job?
I'll take on that job. I'll go up to Dustry Hill.
Okay. And how are you going to go about trying to find Musto in Dustry?
I think I'm gonna have so the keepers who I spent some time with, who work in Dustry Hill.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have a chat with them and see if they've heard anything or overheard like anyone talking or seen anything.
Sure. So is that a consort as well?
Yeah, that would be a consort from me.
Okay, in which case, if I could have the two of you both roll me a consort.
I'm gonna go
risky standard to begin with for the both of you.
I'm gonna go
Devil's bargains for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of what happens, the EIC hounds you.
Uh-oh.
The EIC's investigations continue apace.
Uh-oh.
But if I accept, it does mean I get an extra 2 dice.
I'm gonna stay with mine. I'm gonna stay with my 2 dice.
Okay. So yeah,
sod it. Why not? I'll take it.
Okay. So are you using your special armor your special effects?
Hell yeah.
Okay. So you're starting at risky standard. You can feel free to switch that to a desperate greater for free.
Let's do desperate greater. Why not?
Okay, so Frida is doing a desperate consort. Is Cavern going desperate or staying risky?
He's staying risky.
Okay. In which case, so Frida, you are gonna get with +2. So you're gonna get a 4 dice desperate greater, and Cavern's gonna get a 2 dice risky standard. And regardless of what happens, the EIC are going to continue their investigations. Carry on. Roll them bones.
Oh, so many.
Oh.
I did it!
Okay.
Oh, no.
Things
Well done, Frida.
go badly for Cavern. And Frida rolls a 6. Okay, so Frida, describe to me the person that you talk to who gives you the information on Musto's location.
Do I get to name them as well?
Sure, yeah.
All right. I am going to go down to the most diviest, most disgusting bar that I know in Rookridge, because I know that's where all the wrong-uns. We're talking like this bar still like puts sawdust down on the floor, and they probably change it once a week, so it's sticky and brown with booze and blood that's been spilt. And I'm going to go around and
Just going to quickly interrupt you. What we call in this tavern?
The
Could it be like the smashed grapes, but it's locally known as the smashed face? Something like that.
Ooh, or like, I think it's just probably called like. Do you know what? I don't even think they're not smart enough for that kind of wordplay. It's probably just called the Black Eye.
Black Eye.
Yeah.
It's just the Black Eye.
A famous mythical beast of legend.
Yeah. Black
okay,
Eye.
so the Black Eye.
So Frida goes to the Black Eye and she starts raving about how this snivelling little sweaty goblin man owes her bloody money, and if he don't pay up, she's gonna smash his face in. And she goes to Bertha.
Okay.
Big Bertha.
Yeah.
Big Bertha, the
Better than Jeff.
bar wench. Yeah. Big Bertha, the bar wench, who is just this, like, meat locker of a woman with probably about 3 teeth in her head and
they're not hers.
more
either.
scars. More scars than Frida.
Okay.
So just really rough. And Frida just... I'd probably pay a good gold coin to anyone that could give me some information about snivelling little weasel.
Okay. I'm gonna embellish slightly on Bertha. Because the nickname that she's got in the Black Eye is Jugs. And not for the reason that a lot of people assume. It's the fact that she's built like a juggernaut.
Jugs.
So, Bertha looks to you, and she's got her arms crossed, and she's got this level browed frown, as she just kind of nods as you have another drink, and she says, "You know what? I think I do know someone like that." And seeing a kindred spirit in this Wolfkin woman sat across the bar from her, she looks around and, "Now don't tell anyone that I told you." And she gets a bit of paper, a bit of parchment, and then writes an address of one of the a nearby street. "There's been a couple of new faces that's been coming in around here, and I don't much like them. I think they're part of them cobbles lot. And one of our boys got a bit of a altercation with them, and saw them running back with their tails between their legs to this gaff. So I reckon you go knocking, you'll find your little weasel. You smoke them out for me, all right, love?"
"Oh, Bertha, you're my bloody hero. Let me put one behind the bar for you."
Bertha nods in approval. Meanwhile, in Dustry Hill, so Catherine, you're speaking to your Cuddle Puddle group, and they inform you. So what was your kind of line of questioning?
Just if they've seen a greasy little goblin around, like a particular very greasy little goblin.
Okay. "You know what? I think I know who you mean," says one of the keepers. There's been this. He's a bit of a slob, really, but I've noticed this creepy fella. You say greasy hair and greasy looking clothes, right?
Yeah. Tiny mouth, little teeth. Very creepy.
I don't know about the tiny mouth, tiny teeth, but no, there's certainly been someone creeping around recently that's been, frankly, giving us the heebie-jeebies. But it sounds like your fella, Catherine.
Okay. Thank you.
And the keeper till one of the other keepers pipes in, and like we've seen them at night, which is fortunate because it's like early evening, chronologically just before Frida's popped into the Black Eye. It's usually during the nighttime, like lurks around on like street corners and the like. But if you wait on this corner, I'm sure you'll see him.
Thank you.
And if you can,
I will.
Sort him out, we'd appreciate it. We really would.
Of course.
Okay. So Frida, are you summoning the rest of the group before heading to this address, or are you just going straight there? Where is the rest of the gang, I should say? For Magpie, Atta, and Algernon, where are they whilst Catherine and Frida are in their respective parts of the city? Like, are you nearby? Or are you back home? Like back in Kalbolida, back at the Spectre?
It kind of all depends on what the timeline of all this has been. Have we all been doing this simultaneously? In which case...
It's, I suspect that you certainly would have done your bit to find out he's on the run, and then you would have reported back, and then Catherine and Frida would have then gone off. So, Catherine's gone to Dustry Hill, Frida's gone to Rook Ridge. Waterside is between the two locations.
Yeah.
So perhaps being on one of the
might
bridges...
be a place for us to hang out. Might be good.
So I mean, the bridges over the river are like at night. Like it's getting to it's late evening, kind of coming onto nighttime. So the streets are getting a bit quieter. Are Frida and Catherine arrive? Either of you fetching others, or are you following up on your leads?
I think I'm gonna follow up on the lead. I'm gonna wait around, but sort of be hidden on that corner. Could I have the earring and sort of report that back to someone?
Sure.
So if Algernon's wearing the earring, I can report that back to him.
Okay. So Algernon, you hear that Catherine's found a lead for Musto. Frida, are you beelining straight to this address, or are you getting back up?
Yeah, I feel like the sensible thing would be go back and get people, but we've established that Frida is definitely not sensible, so yeah, she's going.
Okay. In which case, Frida, you head to the address that you were given by Bertha. Catherine, you head to the street corner address that the keepers have given you. And the other three of you wait patiently for news from the bridge. Over the bridge over the river in Waterside. And the three of you can hear, you can see the workers returning from work after very long days of toiling. No one's really kind of paying you much mind. Waterside is quite a gentle, calmer place by comparison within the city. And Frida, you approach the house in question, and you notice that sat on a crate opposite the door, like these are very narrow kind of streets, and sat on a crate opposite the door is what can only immediately be described as a cobble. This Lorivar man who's currently like picking something out from his teeth with a shiv, like a dagger, a very small dagger. And then like as he sees you coming, he jumps and like nicks the tip of his tongue with the knife, and he and he looks to you and just suddenly tries to like play it off all cool, like lean against the wall with an authoritative stance. Catherine, as you're waiting on the corner, you can see the streets beginning to slowly empty, and rather soon, you find yourself alone on this street. And you kind of, like, as you're looking backwards and forwards, suddenly you get this feeling creeping up your spine that you're being watched. Frida, the cobble looks to you and if you've not got any business, then why don't you just carry on, love? He says. Frida, please roll me a 1 dice engagement roll.
Oh. Okay. Oh. Okay.
Oh no. It's a 6!
You barge in and Musto's dead.
Okay.
He's so annoying.
Okay, a 6.
A 6.
So as this cobble eye dropping down and tells you to keep on walking, the front door of this house opens and out waddles a stocky, sweaty little goblin who says mid-stride, "Keep it down, we're trying to keep her low." And he turns to look at you, Frida, like mid-sentence freezes and, "Hello," he says.
All right.
Looking quite awkward. You have found Musto in a somewhat controlled position. Cavern, however, you hear the sound of something scraping along the stonework behind you, and you turn to see a lanky, slinking figure lope down the alleyway towards you. The purple light raining down from above reflecting off what appears to be a wickedly sharp sickle, which is scraping across the brickwork. And as this figure approaches you a few more steps and then stops and lifts their head, showing long, sweaty, greasy looking hair that falls down to just below his collarbones, his face obscured by what looks like by a large top hat that is significantly finer in quality than the rest of his outfit. And there's a part of your mind that immediately recognizes this top hat as a trophy. And this man slowly lifts his head up slightly, and whilst you can't see his eyes for a moment, you know he's regarding you as he says, "Hello, little bird. How kind of you to join me. Do you like songs? Do you like the sound of music? Because the orchestra is looking for someone just like you." And as he lifts his head up fully, he launches himself at you, sickle drawn. I think we'll take a break.
No.
Oh.
No.
No. You found Elysia's Jack the Ripper.
Oh.
Great.
So, with that in mind, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what was happening, hit the like button and comment down below on whether you would save or not Musto. Are you camp Musto die, or are you camp Musto must not die? And see what these lot decide to do. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications of when we release new videos. That's happening very, very frequently, and we won't want you to miss out. And there's loads of stuff happening, like, I don't know, Fallout London. Whee! So, with all that said, thank you for watching, thank you for playing. We'll see you in a bit. Bye!